$18 billion.
Yeah, it's a massive number.
It is. Like, that is the amount of money lost globally to cybercrime last year simply because someone was tricked.
Not hacked, right? Just tricked.
Exactly. Not because a shadowy hacker in a hoodie deployed some sophisticated military-grade algorithmic breach to smash through a firewall, but because a normal human being looked at their phone, panicked, and clicked a link.
It happens every single day.
It really does. So welcome to this deep dive. Today, you are going to discover exactly how to protect yourself in an era where your phone is, well, basically an extension of your brain.
Which makes it a prime target.
Right. To guide you through this, we are analyzing the architectural philosophy from Chromium, the creators of a digital security platform called the Armor ecosystem.
Fairly interesting stuff in there.
Yeah, and we're also looking at this really powerful transcript of a conversation between two people, Sarah and Mike, who break down the severe realities of modern cybercrime.
I mean, it really is a paradigm-shifting stack of sources today. Because that $18 billion statistic you just mentioned, it highlights a fundamental misunderstanding you likely have about your own digital security.
How so?
Well, you spend all this time worrying about, like, the mathematical strength of your passwords, or whether your home Wi-Fi network is encrypted.
Sure, the technical stuff.
Right. But the reality of modern cybercrime is that the vast majority of successful attacks bypass the technology entirely. They go straight for the human being holding the phone.
Wow.
Yeah, it is very rarely a software failure anymore. It is essentially a psychological hijack.
Okay, let's unpack this, because
Okay.
that completely flips the script.
It does.
You always assume your device is the weak link. You think, oh, I just need a better update to patch the holes in my phone's operating system.
Yeah, exactly.
But these sources suggest that you are the vulnerability. Like, you are the one leaving the front door wide open while staring at the alarm system.
Which is a tough pill to swallow for a lot of people.
Definitely. So the big question we have to answer for you today is, how does a piece of software like this Armor ecosystem actually fix human nature?
Well, to understand how Armor addresses human nature, you first have to look at why the current technological safety nets you rely on for your phone are fundamentally flawed.
Right. The stuff we're already using.
Exactly. Because the traditional antivirus tools most people download right now are actually creating massive new vulnerabilities while, claiming to protect you.
Okay, let's talk about traditional mobile antivirus apps then. Because the Chromium architecture document goes into some serious detail about how mobile operating systems, specifically Apple's iOS and Google's Android, are fundamentally structured.
Right, their core architecture.
Yeah, and they intentionally do not give third-party apps system-level access.
Exactly. They use this concept called sandboxing.
Sandboxing, okay.
Yeah. So imagine your phone's operating system is an apartment building. Every single app you download gets its own locked apartment, its own sandbox. Apple and Google strictly enforce a rule that no app can look through the walls into another app's apartment.
Right, so my weather app can't see what I'm doing on Instagram.
Exactly. They do this for a very good reason. It keeps your phone stable and prevents, say, a malicious game you downloaded from peeking into your banking app.
That sounds like a good thing.
It is. But that structural rule creates a massive hurdle for traditional antivirus software.
Oh, because on an old school desktop computer, an antivirus program is like the building manager.
Yes.
It sits in the lobby, has a master key, and watches every single thing you do in real time to spot threats.
Right. But on a mobile phone, Apple and Google say, no, you don't get a master key. Get in your apartment and stay there.
That's a great way to put it.
That is the exact dilemma. So these legacy antivirus companies had to find a workaround to monitor your activity without having that master key.
And what did they do?
Their workaround is to force your phone to use a VPN connection, a virtual private network.
Okay, let's break down exactly what that means for your data, because this is where things get dicey in the source material. If you download one of these legacy antivirus apps, how does that VPN workaround actually function behind the scenes?
Well, when you install their app, it reroutes your internet traffic.
Right.
Normally, when you type in a web address or open an app, your phone talks directly to that service.
Right, a direct line.
But with these legacy antivirus VPNs active, every single packet of data, every website you visit, every app you open, every byte of information leaving your device is scooped up.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's funneled through a tunnel to their remote corporate servers. They perform a live screening on their servers, checking for viruses, and then they send the data back to your phone.
Wait, so downloading a traditional mobile antivirus is basically like hiring a bodyguard who insists on reading all your mail and listening to your phone calls just to make sure you're safe.
That bodyguard analogy captures the mechanics perfectly.
Yeah.
But let's be precise about the data implications here.
Yeah.
It is the definition of a cure being potentially worse than the disease.
How so?
Because in the name of protecting your privacy from hackers, you are compelled to grant a corporate entity remote access and, well, total surveillance over your digital life.
That's crazy.
You are handing over a live feed of your existence to a third-party server somewhere in the world.
What's fascinating here is how Armor approaches this problem, because it flips the entire concept on its head.
It really does.
The sources explicitly state that Armor operates entirely inside its own app sandbox. It never uses a VPN.
Yes. Armor provides security through strict isolation. It stays in its own apartment, to use your earlier analogy.
Right.
It does not look at your Chrome browser. It does not look at Safari. It certainly doesn't monitor your banking apps.
No master key needed.
Exactly. It never tunnels your traffic to remote servers, and there's zero background surveillance.
But if it's not watching everything you do, how on earth does it protect you from clicking a bad link?
By giving you true autonomy. Instead of the software automatically spying on everything to decide what is safe, you manually choose what gets analyzed.
Oh, I see.
If you receive a questionable file or a weird image or a suspicious document, you actively select it and scan it inside the Armor app's sandbox.
So you're making the choice.
You are the one driving. It's a philosophy of security through active participation, rather than total remote surrender.
But there's a catch here. If the software isn't automatically scanning everything in the background to protect you, that means the responsibility falls entirely on your shoulders.
It's true.
And if you are the one responsible for your own security, we have to look at why you fall for these scams in the first place. Which brings us to a really profound point in the Chromium text about human biology.
Oh yeah, the evolutionary psychology angle in the text is vital.
It really is. It explains that your brain was built for a world of physical proximity.
Right. For hundreds of thousands of years, human urgency meant immediate physical danger.
Like a predator.
Exactly. A rustle in the bushes meant a predator was nearby. Your amygdala fires, your body floods with adrenaline, and your fight-or-flight response takes over. You react instantly to survive.
It's just hardwired into us.
Completely. Trust, on the other hand, was something that grew very slowly over years of physical interaction within a tribe.
And the modern internet weaponizes that exact biological response, but removes the physical proximity.
Yeah.
You get a text message that says, "Urgent, your bank account has been compromised. Click here immediately to secure your funds."
And panic sets in.
Right. Your brain doesn't logically process that as pixels on a glass screen. It processes it as the rustle in the bushes.
That's a great way to think about it.
It triggers the exact same fight or flight threat response your ancestors felt. You click before you think because your body is screaming at you to react instantly to survive.
It's overwhelming.
The source material emphasizes this heavily. This is your biology being exploited, not stupidity.
Which raises an incredibly difficult question. How do you fight your own evolutionary biology?
Yeah, how do you...
If 95% of cybercrime is social engineering-like, manipulating your emotions to bypass your logic, how does a piece of software prevent you from reacting on pure primal instinct?
The answer the sources provide isn't just more aggressive background software, it's about building muscle memory.
Right. Training the user.
Armor wants to create the reflex in you to verify before you trust. It's about treating your digital privacy as a daily personal discipline, making it as automatic as looking both ways before you cross a busy street.
And they build specific, isolated tools within their ecosystem to help you develop that reflex.
Like what?
We'll take the Armor Privacy First browser, for example. The concept is that if you get a suspicious link, you don't just blindly click it and let it open in Safari or Chrome, where it might execute a malicious script on your device.
That makes sense.
Instead, you copy the link, open the Armor app, and paste it into their secure browser first. It analyzes the URL inside that safe sandbox and tells you if it's a known scam before it ever actually loads the web page data onto your phone.
They also detail a call and text protection feature. This allows you to scan spam numbers and emails directly through the app to prevent complex social engineering tactics. You know, like those terrifying digital arrest scams or fake video calls.
Those are getting so common.
But I have to push back here a little bit.
Okay.
Let's look at a real-world scenario. If I get a terrifying text at 11 p.m. saying my bank account is drained, I'm panicking, my heart is pounding.
Of course.
Is it really realistic to expect someone in full fight-or-flight mode to stop, open a separate app, and paste a link?
That is a very fair critique.
Hmm.
When panic sets in, logic is usually the first casualty.
Definitely.
And that is exactly why Armor isn't just a passive tool you use manually.
Mhm.
It's an ecosystem designed to actively assist you in those high-stress moments.
How does it do that?
This is where their AI integration becomes the bridge between human panic and digital safety.
Ah, yes, the AI Sentinel. They call it Vexa.
Exa, right.
In the transcript we reviewed between Sarah and Mike, Mike describes Vexa as a personal Iron Man suit, and Sarah compares it to having a personal Jarvis.
It's an apt comparison because Vexa acts as a true co-pilot.
Okay.
It doesn't just run scans and spit out a sterile spreadsheet of errors. It runs through the ecosystem with you.
Oh, I see.
It explains what is broken and how to fix it in plain conversational English.
That's huge.
It is. So when you are panicking at 11 p.m., you aren't just staring at a complex dashboard of security metrics trying to interpret what a red flashing light means.
Okay.
You have an AI co-pilot calmly guiding you through the remediation process step by step.
And it's not just looking at suspicious links, right? The platform functions as a flywheel intelligence XDR.
Yes.
Now, usually XDR is a term you only hear in enterprise corporate security, but Armor is bringing this to the individual user.
They do, and they emphasize that these are real scans, not theater.
Right.
To power this, they are pulling live data from certificate transparency logs, DNS records, TLS certificates, and known breach databases. It's an incredibly comprehensive sweep.
Whoa, stop right there. You're throwing a lot of alphabet soup at me.
My bad.
What is an XDR, and what are all those other acronyms actually doing for the average person listening?
Fair point. Let's translate that into plain English. XDR stands for Extended Detection and Response.
Okay.
Think of it like a radar system that looks at the horizon for incoming threats across multiple different domains at once, rather than just looking at the single device in your hand.
So it's looking outward.
Exactly. And when I mention certificate transparency logs, or TLS, I'm talking about the digital ID cards that websites use to prove they are who they say they are.
Ah, got it.
Armor's system constantly checks public ledgers of these ID cards. If a scammer sets up a fake website that looks exactly like your bank, Armor spots that the digital ID card is brand new or forged and flags it.
Okay, that makes sense. And it also checks CVEs, which the text explains is essentially a global dictionary of known software flaws to see if the apps or services you use have open backdoors.
Yep, it covers a lot of ground.
It covers your domain exposure, your emails, your phone numbers, and your entire social media presence, like Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, Snapchat.
All of it.
And it boils all of that complex data down into a single safety score for you. It even features a breach check that verifies if a password was leaked onto the dark web before you even set it as your new password.
Which is a brilliant proactive measure.
Yeah, it is.
Most people only find out their password was compromised months after the breach happens, usually when money's already missing. Being able to check it proactively prevents the vulnerability from ever taking root.
But here's where it gets really interesting and, frankly, a little concerning.
Oh.
If this app can scan all this breach data, subdomains, leaked phone numbers, and social media footprints, what's stopping a stalker or a bad actor from buying an Armor account just to scan why leaked data and use it against me?
That is the exact tension between building powerful tools and protecting user privacy.
Right.
But the Chromium documentation addresses this head-on. Armor has a strictly hardened anti-abuse policy built into the core architecture of the platform. The system actively blocks anyone attempting to run a breach scan against data that does not belong to them.
Okay, but how does it know it belongs to you?
Through verification. You can't just type in anyone's email address and see their vulnerabilities.
Oh, good.
You have to prove you own the email address or phone number through a verification loop before the system will run the deep scan.
That makes sense.
It's architected entirely for personal defense, not for offensive spying.
Yeah.
Furthermore, your scans stay entirely local to your account. Nothing is sold to advertisers, and nothing is shared.
So you've got the browser protecting against digital manipulation, and the AI and the XDR flywheel monitoring the perimeter for breaches.
Right.
But what happens if the threat bypasses the software entirely? Like, what happens if someone physically snatches your phone right out of your hand on the subway?
That scenario brings us to one of the most robust features of the ecosystem, the zero-knowledge encryption vault.
Okay.
This is engineered specifically for the physical worst-case scenario.
Right. This is the vault where you store the real keys to your life. Highly sensitive items. Photographs of your driver's license, your credit cards, private notes, and your passwords.
And it is crucial to understand that the term zero knowledge is not just marketing jargon here.
It's an actual thing.
Yeah, it's a specific mathematical standard. It dictates how the encryption is handled.
Break that down for me. How does it physically work?
Well, when you put a document into a normal cloud storage app, the app encrypts it, but the company holding the data also holds the master key to decrypt it.
So they could look at it if they wanted to.
Exactly. If their servers are hacked or an employee goes rogue, your data can be unlocked.
Yikes.
Armor's zero-knowledge vault works entirely differently. The encryption keys required to unscramble your data are generated by the physical hardware chip inside your specific phone.
Oh.
Those keys never leave your device. They are never transmitted over the internet.
So Chromium servers genuinely do not have a master key.
Exactly. Chromium states very clearly, we genuinely cannot read it. No human at the company can access your data.
That's impressive.
Even if law enforcement showed up with a subpoena, or if their own servers were completely compromised by hackers, the data they hold is mathematically unreadable gibberish. It can only be unscrambled by the physical hardware key that sits in your pocket.
That provides incredible peace of mind. But the absolute ultimate safety net they describe in the source material is the kill switch.
Yes, the kill switch.
The transcript between Sarah and Mike explicitly highlights this. Mike explains that if his phone is violently stolen, he can remotely trigger this kill switch from another device, and it completely wipes absolutely everything inside that encrypted vault.
It's an extreme measure, but necessary.
So it's essentially a self-destruct button for your digital life. If the castle walls are breached, you just burn the treasure room to the ground before they can take it.
It is the final fail-safe. It completely protects your identity and your financial data from being extracted, even if the physical device is lost to the enemy.
So a kill switch sounds intense, but when you dive into the transcript between Sarah and Mike, you realize that a self-destruct button is exactly what is necessary.
The stakes are just so high.
Because the stakes are so much higher than most people realize, the conversation between them starts out very technical, talking about VPN protocols and zero-knowledge architecture. But toward the end, it strips away the sterile tech jargon and forces you to confront the human cost.
It becomes deeply emotional. Sarah brings up a statistic that is just, it's devastating to hear.
Yeah, it really is.
She mentions that nearly 1.9 million lives of people under the age of 25 have been lost or completely ruined due to social engineering, identity theft, and cyberbullying.
1.9 million.
We aren't just talking about stolen credit cards anymore. We're talking about destroyed futures.
Mike even reveals a personal tragedy during their interview. He mentions that he actually lost someone he knows to this exact issue. He says it's one of the primary things keeping him up at night.
It's heartbreaking.
He makes the profound point that cybercrime targets human lives, not just data. A hacker sitting in a basement halfway across the world, writing a script to send out 10,000 malicious text messages, often doesn't even realize the catastrophic real-world impact of what they are doing.
They're just so disconnected from it.
Right. They are just looking for a quick crypto payout, but they are leaving a trail of ruined families in their wake.
And the true tragedy, as Mike points out, is that the tools to verify these threats and protect people already exist.
They're out there.
But the average person just doesn't know about them, or they find them too complicated to use. When you get an intimidating message, you panic and you act.
Exactly.
Armor's entire intention, stripped of all the XDRs and CVEs, is simply to give you the choice to verify a threat before it's too late. It is designed to give you a safe space to pause.
And when Sarah asks about the accessibility of this platform, she asks about the cost. Mike points out that it costs less than you pay for a monthly subscription to Bumble or Inge.
Which is a striking contextualization of value.
So what does this all mean? Think about that comparison. We pay for dating apps to find connection, but we balk at paying less than that to protect our literal lives from the dark side of those same connections.
We really do.
You prioritize the pursuit of connection over the protection of your existence.
If we connect this to the bigger picture, it shows that privacy and digital security are no longer just niche IT problems for tech enthusiasts.
Right, it's for everyone.
They are fundamental personal disciplines, just like putting on a seatbelt when you get in a car, or checking the smoke detector in your house. It is a necessary, non-negotiable adaptation to modern life.
Which brings us to the summary of today's deep dive. Armor isn't just another antivirus app trying to catch malware. It represents a fundamental philosophical shift in how you should approach your digital security.
A total paradigm shift.
It moves you away from the flawed, invasive model of remote surveillance and VPN tunnels. Instead, it moves you toward an isolated, zero-knowledge ecosystem.
With you in control.
Exactly. By combining the Vexa AI Copilot to guide you, the hardware-locked zero-knowledge vault to secure your data, and the privacy-first browser to check your links, it puts the autonomy back in your hands.
It builds that muscle memory.
Yes, it acknowledges that your own human biology is the real vulnerability, and it provides a secure sandbox to build the muscle memory required to verify before you trust.
It's an impressive approach.
But as we wrap up, there's one final lingering thought that wasn't explicitly answered in the sectas, and it's something I want you to mull over.
Oh, I'm curious.
The Chromium text makes it very clear that your biology, your primal, ancient fight-or-flight response, is exactly what hackers are successfully exploiting.
Right.
And the solution presented here is to rely on an AI like Vexa to act as your co-pilot, to calmly tell you what is safe and what is dangerous in plain English when you are too panicked to think straight. But by doing that, are you essentially outsourcing your own survival instincts entirely to software?
Oh, wow.
Right. And as the malicious AI generating these scams inevitably gets smarter, faster, and more manipulative, will the future of human safety just be your personal AI fighting a hacker's malicious AI?
That's a wild thought.
Will you just sit in the middle, entirely dependent on the machine to tell you if the rustling in the bushes is just the wind, or a predator waiting to strike?
A literal war of the machines while we just watch.
Keep questioning, keep verifying, and thank you for joining us on this deep dive.